welcome to Dave's Think Tank. Well, I haven't put out a video in a while, but there's a good reason for that. I started a new project. It was supposed to be a quick modification to the Flash Gordon, a new plug-and-play module, but it turned out to be anything but that. You may have heard of the Arduino, a computer chip that's been used to reprogram a number of classic pinball games, including the Flash Gordon. By attaching this device to your MPU board, you can change the rules of the game, giving it a whole new look and feel. When I found out that an Arduino was available for the Flash Gordon, I wanted to try it out. In a recent video, I showed you how to add a video display to the Flash Gordon. At the beginning of that video, I let you know that you could buy a similar setup online, and that might be a good alternative since the process to build it yourself was incredibly complex. The Arduino seemed much the same. Once again, you could save a lot of money building it yourself. In this case, though, the process looked so difficult when I started out that I decided to just buy it online. So, what were the issues that were the big obstacles for me? I can only find one video online that was really instructive in the stages required. It was very thorough and even linked to written instructions. It seemed everything I needed except the primary links in building the hardware and downloading the required software packages were no good. The video was not even 3 years old, and the most important links it gives were old or changed, or the sites were just gone. I eventually tracked down some of the information, except there was no way to tell if it was the latest or if it was complete. For example, 3 years ago, the software seemed to come from two different sites. One with the operating system and one with the Flash Gordon specific software. I never did find the operating system site, but the Flash Gordon site seemed to have a couple extra files added since 3 years ago that looked like they might be the operating system. There also seemed to be different versions of the software for different Arduino chips. I only found one version though, and I didn't know which chip the software I found was for. In my previous video on the video display, I also warned you that you should keep copies of everything you download. This is why, even 3 years later, things can change and be completely unavailable. So, with so many question marks before even beginning this project, I decided to take the easy route and buy the whole thing complete. Except when I finally received it and plugged it in, the current state of the programming was woefully inadequate. All of the options you would expect, like balls per game or other game settings, were missing. The software was full of bugs, with lights coming on or not going off at appropriate times, or the ball getting stuck in the out hole under certain circumstances. So I've spent the last month fixing the code, bringing it up to a level that I think makes it a worthy alternative to the original Bally game. I'll provide a link to my code, so if you purchase an Arduino for your Flash Gordon, you'll have complete software to run it on your pinball. Okay, now that we have all the hardware and all the software, let's back up and start over at the beginning. So, what is this device? A few years back, someone decided they weren't happy with the rules of the Flash Gordon. They pictured a game with mostly the current rules, but enhanced with things like a skill shot, a big boss finale, little things like resetting the inline drop targets when you complete them. They could also control the lights and the displays, and what they came up with was this. The MPU board on these old machines had a connector at the top with nothing connected to it. Supposedly it was used for testing purposes in the factory, and a few boards have been designed and sold to attach to it for in-depth testing purposes. This connector accesses all the MPU board's data lines, and by redirecting these into a computer chip, that chip can effectively take over control of the entire pinball machine. So where do you get one of these, and how do you install it? I would still recommend you buy the hardware complete. I'll leave a link in the description where I purchased mine. They also sell a kit, so if you're really confident in your soldering skills, you might go that route to save some money. If you've purchased one and want to try it out at this point, you can skip ahead to installing it with the software provided. I think you'll be happier if you install it with my software first, though. To do that, you'll need to download the Arduino Integrated Development Environment, or IDE. Just follow the link in the description to the Arduino software site, or just type in arduino.cc and select Software. Find your computer under Download Options. Now you can click Just Download, but why not pay them a few bucks? And when you receive the file, I've already received it, so I'm not going to click it again, but when you do receive it, double-click on the file you receive and follow the instructions to copy the program into your applications. Now you'll want my software. Again, just click on the link in the description, which will take you to github.com/davesthinktank/flashgordon2024. On this screen, you want to click on the green Code button and download zip. This sends you a zip file with a bunch of files in it. What you want to do with these, you want to go to your Documents directory and create a directory within it called Arduino. And within that, you want to create a directory called FG2024, and you want to copy all these files into it. Now, there are three things of interest in this new directory. Number one, there are new rule cards for you to print and add to your machine. That's one, and the other. These have a simple description of the new rules. And number two, there's a full and complete manual for the new software, the program, the self-tests, the game settings, and so on. Thirdly, you'll want to click on the fg2024.ini file. This will open up the Arduino IDE with all the software included. Next, you'll want to update the Arduino hardware with the new software. So take a micro USB cable and plug it into any USB port on your computer. Next, on this line at the top of the IDE, identify the board as Arduino Mega 2560 and identify the serial port being used. Now, I've got a couple of things that showed up here. I wasn't entirely confident that this was the right one, and so what you can do if that happens, just unplug the Arduino and whatever disappears is the correct thing. So plug it back in and select that one. Now we can click this arrow at the top, which will compile the code. And hopefully you get no errors. And now we can click this button, which will recompile the code and send the results to the Arduino. You can tell it's working if this flashing red light comes on. When the code is compiled and the transfer is complete, you can unplug the Arduino. It's now ready to install in your Flash Gordon. The connector has a missing pin right here, and the new board has a corresponding key right here, so you really can't go wrong. Now, the board just needs to be gently plugged into place. Now, support the MPU board from behind to minimize bending the board and potentially damaging the connector pins. So just line up the connector on the back and gently press into place. Now my MPU is an All-Tech, so I'm done. If you still have the original board though, you'll likely have to add one of these jumper wires. This end fits on this pin right here, and this end grabs onto a point on the old board, on the Bally board. You're best off to consult the instructions for that. So that's it. So let's go over a few of the new features. The first thing I want to show you is these new flashing light patterns. This is what got me interested in the first place, these amazing new swirling light patterns. The self-test features have had significant improvements. All the usual self-tests are there, but by pressing the game button on the front of the coin door, there are all kinds of new features. We can make the display go one digit at a time. If you're working on one particular solenoid, you can get that one to just keep popping. There's a sound test. Goes through all the sounds. And all the usual game adjustments as well. So try the game button with the various tests to see what I mean. Maybe even check the manual. And do go through and adjust the game settings before playing, because they may have reset to 0. So one of the new game features is a skill shot. So at the beginning, instead of just firing the ball up and onto the play field, you're expected to put it up just so that it touches 1, 2, maybe 3 of these rollover buttons, and then rolls back down. And you can score 15,000, 30,000, or 75,000 points. The inline drop targets have a new feature where you knock them down 1, 2, 3. If you hit the wood beast at the back now, they reset, so you can hit them all over again. The 4 flashing drop targets over here are now connected to the targets with the same colors. You've got 2 flipper lane targets and 2 right side targets. So if you hit, say, the white target here, you have to hit the white target over here. You've got 15 seconds. Turn 50,000 points. Same with the flipper targets, a little bit different. If you, say, hit the yellow target here, this starts flashing. Once you hit it, you have 5 seconds to get it up and through that. Oh, I missed. Did not get it in time. Did not get it within the 5 seconds. Well, let's try this one. Yeah. So you get 2,000 points per spin. Now, the up-down kicker lights here used to be set off by knocking down these 4, and then these 4 again, and these 4 again. It now requires you to knock down these 4 to get to 10,000. These inline targets to get to 20,000, and these 3 targets to get the 30,000. Once you've got all 3, you get the extra ball.
Escape is impossible.
And going in the saucer collects all those points. And the main new feature, the final battle. So, if you knock down 16 targets, any 16 targets, it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Oh dear.
16 targets.
Oh dear.
The outlane's light. And what you want to do is you want to get out there. Now, usually you try to avoid these, and you can't you can't avoid them if you wanted to, but now you do want to go down there to begin the final battle.
The attack has begun.
Fire up onto the playfield. You're trying to increase your energy here. This is your energy gauge. You get points for hitting the pop targets. You get points for going through the spinners. And you get points for hitting the saucer here. Every time you hit, you get a little closer there. So let's hit that pop bumper. And we're up to 30,000. Okay, and then you're supposed to go into the saucer, as I did there. Now you have to do this 3 times. Now we're at full power. Attack Ming. And I won't give away the secret, so but if you get it 3 times, you get a surprise. Okay, that's probably enough for today. Let's play a game. Okay, new game. And I've turned off the music to avoid copyright infringement. Okay, let's try the skill shot. This game has been very cruel to me lately, so don't expect me to be getting into the final battle. Okay, let's try a skill shot again. Not enough. That was terrible. Go.
Very fast, come on! What a damn nuisance! Very fast, come on!
15,000. Got 10 drop targets.
Very rusty. 14 seconds. Escape is impossible. Look out!
Oh dear.
Oh, got 11 drop targets that time. Oh, too much.
Escape is impossible. Escape is impossible. Escape is impossible. You've saved your life. Have a nice day.
Oh, a million game. Not that bad.